The Earth is home to some of the coolest and the creepiest animals. Some are rarer than others, but some creatures are almost impossible to come by. With only one born every 1,000 years, they are really 1 in a million. The only thing that is cuter than a porpoise is a two-headed porpoise. In May of 2017, a group of Dutch fishermen was never expecting to find this creature during their trip. This was the first discovered case of partial twinning in a harbor porpoise. But instead of being excited of their discovery, they were more freaked out. Eventually, the pictures were sent to researchers in the Netherlands and they recaptured the animal. They determined that the creature was a conjoined twin that unfortunately did not survive very long after birth. A harbor porpoise is not a rare find in the Northeast European waters, but it is definitely pretty uncommon to find one with 2 heads. The exact reason behind how the marvel was born is still an unsolved mystery. But this porpoise is not the first two-headed creature to grace our oceans. Another fisherman came across one of nature's coolest creations in the Gulf of Mexico, a two-headed bull shark. The animal was found in a pretty unconventional way when a fisherman was cleaning a shark he just caught. The shark was a little more developed than our previous porpoise with 2 heads, 2 stomachs, and even 2 hearts. Although rumors spread that the sea animal was a product of the 2010 oil spill in the Gulf, the theory was quickly debunked. One thing we know of for sure, though, is that this creature is clearly a rare find. A two-headed shark is definitely a force to be reckoned with, but this snake might be even scarier. The extra special quality about this reptile? It has an extra eye, much like a cyclops in the middle of its head. Rangers in Australia who found the carpet python named it Monty. While snakes of this breed typically grow up to 9 feet, Monty was only a mere 16 inches. He may be small, but this snake is no joke. This python is incredible for more reasons than just its keen sense of sight. Most snakes with deformities do not survive past a few days, if they are not already eaten by their mothers for being so-called bad eggs. Even the fact that the eye is functional is quite strange. The chances of this happening are incredibly rare. It turns out that Monty isn't the only snake out there with something a little extra about him. In September of 2009, a woman named Diane Kyung-shu was shocked to find a snake stuck to her bedroom wall. You might be wondering how that's even possible, but when she took a closer look, she realized that the reptile had a weird clawed limb sticking out of its side. Many originally doubted the existence of a one-footed snake, but researchers confirmed that these growths are not that unusual for reptiles in southwest China. With the high pollution levels in China, many reptiles have been born with an unconventional body structure. Despite this, scientists still all agree that the claw on the creature was something they had never seen before. But there are even more insane deformities when it comes to rare animals. Like Janus, the two-faced goat born in Wisconsin. Newski Farms had their fair share of goat babies to take care of, but nothing was like this wonder. The animal's birth was announced on Facebook in April of 2020 and instantly made headlines all over the nation. With 2 developed craniums that connected at the lateral bones of his skulls, Janus had even more brain power than the average goat. Not only was he 1 in a million, but he became a total online sensation. No one could resist falling in love with the wonder that is Janus. Just north of Wisconsin, where our favorite big-brained goat was found, a mushroom picker uncovered something magnificent in Minnesota: a two-headed fawn. Only 5 cases of conjoined fawns have ever been officially confirmed, but none of them survived past birth. Although this creature was stillborn, it was truly remarkable that it ever made it to that stage of development. The baby deer had 2 heads and 2 necks that conjoined at the rib cage, with 1 liver and 2 hearts. These twins were a marvel to the world. There is no way to describe just how insane the discovery of the two-headed fawn was. While most of the world's interesting animals are found in nature, some of these rare creatures make a name for themselves as someone's pet. Back in 1899, a woman sent a picture of her cat to a London magazine. This was not just any old feline, though. The animal had a pretty large pair of wings coming off of its back. The first case of a cat with wings was detailed a few decades earlier in 1854 by Henry David Thoreau. In his book Walden, he described a kitten with wings that he believed to be a mix of a cat and a flying squirrel. His speculation was almost immediately written off as impossible, but the existence of the animal was never doubted. Soon after, these wonders were being spotted in areas around the world, such as in Sweden in 1949 and even Madrid just a year later. These felines were not really considered an unusual find back then, but we definitely haven't seen any cats flying around recently. We have all heard of the classic television series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but we never thought we would actually find a mutated reptile out there. This turtle discovered in Southeast China might not have superpowers, but its two heads make him pretty special. After being discovered, the red-eared slider was brought to Shangrao City to keep its mutation from spreading into the wild population. A two-headed turtle has a very low chance of survival, but this creature has so far beaten the odds. Despite its deformity, this reptile actually seemed to enjoy its life in captivity. With two pairs of fully functional eyes and a set of working flippers, the turtle did not have any problem swimming in the plastic tank it called home. Adding to the list of two-headed reptiles is this eastern copperhead snake discovered in 2018. While tending to her garden, a Virginia woman found the creature writhing in her flowers. After pictures of it made their way to Facebook, the two-headed marvel went viral. Once the snake was eventually handed off to a viper breeder named Cooper Salade, it was diagnosed with dicephaly. This meant that the two heads were independent of each other and had different personalities. The chances of such a deformity are extremely rare, and the fact that the snake was even alive was shocking to specialists. Looks like two heads are better than one for this unique creature. There is no denying that at the end of the day, a dog is man's best friend. These puppies are a little different than the rest, but that does not make them any less lovable. Duncan is a two-legged boxer from Colorado. He was found walking on just his front paws since his back legs were completely immobile. After he was brought to a rescue organization, he fell in love with the owners of the facility, Gary and Amanda Walters. They were not originally looking for a new companion, but they eventually adopted Duncan. Although he struggled to adjust at first, he was happy as could be once he got his hind legs removed. Duncan's deformity might be 1 in 1,000, but that does not make him the only two-legged dog out there. Faith was born in 2002 with 3 legs, 2 functional hind legs and 1 deformed front one. Once the unusable limb was surgically removed, it was time for this dog to make a name for herself. Faith is unique not only for surviving with just 2 legs, but for meeting more than 2 million active soldiers in the United States military. She was well known in hospitals for visiting those who were injured during combat. She was both an inspiration and a one-of-a-kind pet. While Faith was one special dog, this next pet might be even more famous. A couple in North Carolina was on the lookout for a new animal, but they never thought they would adopt a two-faced cat named Venus. The colors and patterns on the tortoiseshell's face were split right down the middle. One side was an orange tabby with a blue eye, and the opposite was black with a green eye, like having 2 cats in one. Clearly, Venus is not just any other feline. That is why she is now one of the most famous pets on the internet. After the owners raved about her on a Reddit post in 2012, she became a YouTube star and even an Instagram model. All this cat has to do is sit there and look pretty to be adored by millions. We all know and love the story of Babe the pig, but there is a new babe in town who is even more unbelievable. This creature was born in 2011 with 2 snouts and 3 eyes. The owner, He Rushan, was a little skeptical about the piglet at first. As a farmer from southwest China, she had a lot of experience taking care of animals before, but she never saw anything like this. Since the piglet was a little different compared to his brothers, Rushan had to give it a little extra care by consistently hand-feeding the animal with a bottle. The additional eyes and snout could have been caused by a variety of factors, from a genetic mutation to pollution. No matter how it happened, there was no questioning why this pig made it on our list. You've probably seen pics of 2 or even 3-headed lions on the internet. We have searched the web and can tell you, nobody has ever seen them in real life, as far as we know. So, how do you explain these photos? Sometimes it's photoshopped or just a lucky snap with the camera. But if you look close enough, there are separate animals in these photos. Have any of you ever seen a real 2-headed lion in real life? Do you think it's possible? Let us know. But the fact we haven't found a multi-headed lion doesn't mean we didn't find something just as cool and rare. In fact, it looks like our feline friends might be the most unique creatures out there. And next up is the incredible lion-leopard hybrid known as the leopon. Unlike other cats, these creatures are not the type of animal you would want as your house pet. They are extremely rare and were thought to be just a part of African legends for a while. And when the great explorer Colonel Richard Meinertzhagen spotted one back in 1903, we knew that these animals were anything but fictional. This creature has a long history of people trying to track it down. Hunter Gundar Dower dedicated an entire safari trip to the leopon in 1924 and even wrote a book about his findings called The Spotted Lion. Unfortunately, Dower never found the feline for himself, but he gave others the clues they needed to eventually discover it in 1935. Since then, countries all over the world have artificially created such a creature, including Japan and Germany. While the leopon is one of the rarest breeds of lions, the white lion is pretty unusual too. Though they are commonly mistaken for albinos, these magnificent beasts actually have a recessive trait that results in a lack of pigmentation. They are clearly beautiful, but white lions are no joke. They can weigh up to 530 pounds and defeat almost any animal that crosses its path. Only 13 of these cats are known to be out in the wild, while the rest of them are in captivity. Since they are such an uncommon find in the wild, many tribes in southern parts of Africa consider these creatures to be some of the holiest animals in the world. Sadly, white lions were hunted to the point of extinction, but they were fortunately reintroduced back into the wild in 2004. So let us know what you think. Which one of these rare creatures do you think is the coolest? Make your way to the comments section and let us know if we missed one. Maybe we'll even choose your comment for a future video. Thanks for watching.